Hi creative friends, this is Freya and thank you so much for being here. So I am working in this beautiful book, Madame Butterfly, and what happened is I had some extra red paint on my palette. So I came in here, I did these sketches of these three ladies, and I picked a page that has it only has print on it, and it's Italian. It's written in the Italian language, so I want to retain as much of that as possible. But what I did is I just used up my leftover red paint on my palette and I filled in the background, and I really love it. But the purpose of this video is for me to show you how I use my handmade collage, but in a little bit of a different way. So generally, like in the other video that I did about collage, I added the collage at the end of me building up my spread. But what I'm going to do now is I am going to put my collage onto the page and I am going to build around the collage. So this entire spread is going to be dependent on the pieces of collage that I put on the page, because I hope that I've been stressing with all my videos that, you know, everything that happens in the page, every decision you make, it affects the next decision that you make. So nothing occurs in a vacuum, like everything builds off of each other. So if I put a color here, then it's going to change the whole thing, and then, you know, it's going to inform my next decision about the color that I'm going to use, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick a few pieces and kind of see like where I want them to go. Even just, I don't have a lot of stuff on the page. Like I only have my blue Stabilo, the writing from the page, so you know, the black and the white writing, and then I have the red. So I am like, I'm really loving that. I'm loving that over there. So I'm gonna put that over there, or, well, I like it like on the top there. And I'm really loving this for the dress. And now I want to pick another piece of collage. And I don't know where I want to put it. So, like I can put that there, but let's see here. So I don't, like, I'm trying to think, you know, like when I put my elements down, I want to use odd numbers. So I want to use 3 or 5 because I want to keep my eye moving around the page. So just say I put my, you know, just say I put the collage here. I don't really like that. Well, I mean, I know it doesn't go, but just say I put it for the neck. I don't really like it because it's like 1, 2, 3, and you know, there's nothing to anchor me like over here. So when I look at the page, I'm gonna go, okay, 1, 2, 3, and then that's it, it stops. But if I put it over here, you know, it goes 1, 2, 3, and then it's more of a circle, and I'm gonna be more likely to kind of go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to keep my eye moving around the page. So I hope I'm making sense, you guys, and I'm not just like babbling on about, you know, crazy stuff. I hope I'm conveying what I'm trying to, my point. I hope that's kind of getting across. So I don't want to put 4 pieces of collage. I could put 5, but I don't want to put 4 because I try to go with odd numbers. So, you know, I might, like, that could go there, and then, like, if I add another piece, I could, I don't know, that might be a bit too much, I don't know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick this piece, and this piece, and then I'm just gonna leave these 2, like I don't know. So I'm gonna think about it in the meantime while I put these pieces down. And I'm really loving this piece over here. Now I don't know if I should, I think I'm gonna keep it right there. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep the text on the neck and maybe the face, I don't know. And I almost like, I wish I had some tea bags to use, but you guys, the unexpected happened is that I ran out of tea bags. I used them all up for my collage when I was making all my handmade collage. So I don't have any more tea bags. So I have to build up my stash again. But honestly, I wish that I did have some tea bags that I could put on the face, but maybe it's a good thing that I don't have them. Uh-oh, you guys, I didn't put this on straight. I want to put it on straight. Okay. And now I don't know about this piece here in the sense of, I think I have to kind of trim it a little bit, which I don't want to do. I really like the way it is, like, so I like the space of it, you know, how much space it takes. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do with that. Okay, let me see here. I'm wondering, you know what, you guys, I'm gonna just try something out. I'm going to just like stick it right like that, where a little bit of it comes into the hair here, and I'm just gonna see, like, you know, just experiment, just see what happens. I wouldn't, you know, usually do this, but I'm just feeling it, so we're just gonna go with it. Now I am interested in seeing how that's going to affect things. And also too, like, I am not, like, normally I would kind of trim this little bit here because of the shape of the head and the hair, but I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna stick it right there like that. Let's see what interesting thing comes of it. Okay, now I have to, like, and this piece over here. I think I'm gonna stick this down, you guys. The page is really quite large, so I think I can get away with more pieces. If it was like one of my smaller books, like a 9x12, then maybe I couldn't get away with so many pieces, but I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, you guys, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start building up my figures, and I'm gonna try to figure out what I am going to keep in the sense of the writing, because obviously I can't keep the writing everywhere. So I already have this going, so I think I'm gonna cover up the dress over here, and I'm kind of inclined to keep the print on the necks and some of the faces, like, because this is in the middle of the page, there's this white space here which I don't like. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out what color to make the dress. And well, the first thing is, let me just build up this face over here, because I'm really not liking the, like, blankness of it. So I'm just gonna kind of add some ink here. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit of ink. And because it is transparent, I mean, I can still see the writing. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blot out some of that so I can see the print. See? You can see the print. And now I am going to figure out what to do with the dresses. So I don't know if I want to go with a pink or a blue. The safe choice would be a blue, but I think I'm gonna go with a pink. I'm gonna try to match this kind of pink over here. I mean, it's not gonna be an exact match, but maybe I can come close to it. I think the pink is really gonna brighten, like it's really gonna make an impact. Whereas if I put the blue, it's not that the blue wouldn't work, it's just that it's gonna be like a really safe choice, I guess. Ooh, now I do love that. I really love that. Oh, I'm glad I went with the pink. So one of the great things about working in a book like this is not only does it influence me, but it makes me braver. Like, I want to try out different things, and I get influenced by what's going on the page. And then as a result, I just get more, like, I just go, oh, I think I'm gonna do this, and I think I'm gonna do that. Like, I don't know if I was working on a white page, if I would go with such a bold choice, but I'm really loving this, actually. Now, even though it doesn't match the pink on here, it's still pink, and I'm okay with it for right now. I don't know if I might need to kind of do something a little bit different later on, but for right now, I'm really liking that. So I'm gonna get some of my Cad Red Light onto the palette here and just kind of mix it in with that pink. And now I'm gonna kind of drag that into the cheeks a little bit here. Ooh, I'm really liking that. So you guys have mentioned this before, but I think it's worth repeating, is that when I am working in a book like this, like my primary motive is to learn, to challenge myself, to strengthen my own visual language, because it does require some, balancing to incorporate another visual language that's not your own into your own work. Now, this wasn't too difficult because I just used a page that has print on it, but some of these other images, they are very strong, and that's kind of usually what I'm drawn to, is I'm drawn to really strong images. And so now when you go to incorporate that into your own work, you are going to have to strengthen your own visual language in order to hold your own, because you can't let your work get swallowed up, Now I've got this gorgeous extra paint on my brush, so that would be great to add it to a composition lined notebook page to use it as my collage, you know, to like me building up my collage. But I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna keep it off to the side here because I might still use some of that in this spread. And let me see here. So I'm just gonna go in here and use my Stabilo, and I'm wetting it. So I just want some like really beautiful marks. And I'm gonna go along the line of the collage here. And just kind of like incorporate that like so. And okay, so now I'm gonna have to figure out what am I going to do with the other two dresses. And there's nothing on here, so I've got a lot of leeway. But over here, I want to try and pick up on some of maybe a color here. So I don't know if I want it. There's a black, there's gold, there's green, there's orange. I don't want to go with orange because it's, you know, I want this red to really like zing. And I don't think if I put orange there, it's going to, I might go with blue because, you know, there is blue on the page. So I think I might just go with blue. I don't know. There is some blue Stabilo on this piece of collage. It's not a lot, but, you know. So I'm just gonna kind of go like so. And just like that. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of the blue into here because even if I use brown or black for the hair, I like adding some blue just to give it like, you know, some depth and interest so it's not so flat. So I'm gonna add some blue, and it's also gonna keep my eye moving around the page. Now what I'm gonna do is I am going to like, I'm gonna kind of go like that because remember I use this one piece of collage here, and you know, I think I'm gonna go like this, and that way I can use the collage, like I can incorporate it into like you know, her hair. So you guys, I think I'm gonna let things dry and, you know, just get a little bit of perspective. But I'm really liking the way this is turning out. I'm loving a lot of stuff about this. Like, I love the collage. I love the pink against the red. I'm just really liking a lot of stuff that's going on. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to take my finger and I am going to just bring some of this blue on to the piece of collage because I want to like integrate it. Like, I want there to be some kind of resonance between the dress and this little piece of collage here. So that's another thing you can do, you guys. Like, just because you've already made your collage, it's your, you know, you don't have to keep it that way. You can add stuff to it once you put it on your page. So I'm just gonna kind of drag some of this blue into the hair just because it's on my finger, and it, you know, I like doing that, bringing some of the blues into the hair. And So now I think, look, I'm going to leave the text over here. I don't know if that's going to look a bit weird. I don't know. And I am going to think about what to do with this dress over here. But I'm going to let it dry completely and then I'm going to come back to it. So if you guys have watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.